In this video segment, we're going to talk about the cast and twitch rod. The cast and twitch rod has been specifically designed to play with your cats. However, you can use it for small puppies and very small dogs. We're also going to talk about the type of lines to use and show you a few of the techniques on how to have some real fun with your exercising and playing with your cat. Let's talk first of all about the rod. I'm holding in my hand a colored rod. This is our hot pink rod, and we do offer the rod in many different colors that you can check and see on the website. One of the things that we're asked is, can you use the dog rod and the cat rod interchangeably? And the answer to that is no, and I'm going to show you why. In the cat rod, we have a lot of flex, and this makes it really nice when you're casting a toy to the cat, which we'll show you when we use some other and longer lines. I'm going to put a dog rod up here so that you can see the difference. We'll just swing it over here. If you notice, the cat rod is very delicate all the way along the rod shank, and then you've got up here on the top, you can see that I've got a real, it almost looks like a piece of wood, but all of our rods are made out of graphite. It's just that we've changed the design a little bit so that it makes it easier to cast when you're using a dog toy, which is big and heavy. And again, this is our outside. This is the dog rod, the cast and tease rod, 3-piece. And then here I'm showing the cast and twitch rod for cats. Now, I've already pre-strung up a 3-foot line in this. And the reason that you would use a 3- and 4-foot line, first of all, if you're just getting started, that would be one reason. But the second reason would be so that you can play with your pet close to you. I can just sit here in my armchair or my couch, and I can just move the toy around. I have attached, this is from the collection that we were recommending that you use on our door hanger toy. This is what we call the Ty Doll. And you can see that just simply bouncing it up and down, or if I wanted to toss it onto the floor, I could. Now, we have been recommending that you use a loop-to-loop method, which you'll see in another section on the video tutorial that we have. On this particular rod, I've attached the clasp that we offer so that you can see. The clasp is used so that you can easily change out toys quickly. The one concern you may have is if your pet were to bite down on this metal clip, you may decide that that poses a danger and you don't want to use it. But we're going to show you how to use it and effectively remove a toy quickly on and off. So I'm going to just bring this over here, and we'll just pull this, trade places here, and pull this off. I'm going to open it with my thumb. Takes a little bit of muscle. Pull that off. We'll lay it aside, and then we'll attach. I've got a Ty Dragon, and we've got it in orange and black in honor of Halloween. All right, now, again, this is a 3-foot line that we have attached. Let's just go over one more time our finger position. It looks like this. The first and forefinger goes on the top of the rod, and then we do the thumb as on the side of the rod. And all of our eyelets run up on the side of the rod as though we're on the left side of your body. And that position is absolutely critical, especially when we get to the longer lines. Okay? Now, with this, again, you can just tease your cat if it's just down below at your feet. But you can also toss it out. Just extending your arm, you can just toss. Nothing is really required, but you can just toss it. Lift the rod up, move the line. All right, 3- and 4-foot lines. That's how you use it. I have a 5-foot line now on the cast and twitch rod, and we're just going to explain a little bit of the differences. The 5-foot allows you to get a little more length out, but it also now requires you to do a little bit more with your right and your left hand to make it effectively work. We're technically able now to cast it out and get a little bit of distance. And to do that, you're going to take your left hand and take the line in, just slide it in your fingers like so, and as you move the line like this, see how the toy raises up. Okay? Now, to cast it out there to get a little bit of distance, if you were, like when we had the 3- and 4-foot lines on, we could just toss the rod and it would move. But you can see when we do this, the toy stays right put on the floor, like so. So to make it work, you're going to take the line in your left hand. Again, watch your finger positions, make sure the rod is aligned correctly with the eyelets on the left-hand side, and take the line in your left hand like so, and raise the toy up. And by simply raising it to the back of my head or my ear, like so, I can just take it and let it go. Let go of it out of your left hand, or you can move your hand up with it. Let's just do it a couple of times so you can see. Up and out. Up and out. Now, one of the nice things about the cast and twitch rod is that you can do it sitting or you can do it standing. It doesn't matter, but it's a lot of fun either way. Now, again, this is demonstrating the 5-foot line, and it would be the same for the 5 and 6 line. We're ready now to demonstrate using the longer lines, but before we do so, I need to show you some hand and arm technique that will help you learn to play better and cast the toy better to your cat. All right, you've got a face-on shot of me here, and we're going to just pretend that here my rod is in my right hand and my line is in my left hand, and here's the motion. The right arm goes up, the left arm goes down, and then you bring it back together when you release the toy. Up, down. Now let's try it from the side so you can see, all right? Right hand rod lifts up, left arm down that's holding the line, and back together, like this, and back together. Okay, now we're ready to put on a 7-foot line and give you some more technique. The 7-foot line is now on, and we're ready to show you some fun things that you can do. Now, the benefit of using a longer line is that you, as your cat approaches you, or you can see it walking into the room, you can actually tantalize and tease the cat as he is approaching you. You don't have to wait for him to get clear to you. The method is still the same. We're taking the line across the body and bringing it up to the ear, just barely behind the ear, and then you cast. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the casting. You cannot be, well, it would be a nice word, I'd say the word wimpy with your arm. You can't. It has to be an assertive throw with your hand. If you just go like this, see, the toy is going nowhere. You have to bring it up, and assertively, I'm kind of putting my upper torso into it and just letting go. It's really, really easy. Just with a little bit of practice, even 10 minutes of practice, and you'll have it all down. One of the nice things, again, is sitting down and casting, but one of the other things that's really nice is to be able to stand up and cast. You can cast within the room, you can walk from room to room, you can walk outside and do the same thing. We're cast to the chair, sofa rather. Put it anywhere. It's just so fun. It's just minimal effort. A little horse, to the entertainment center, anywhere. Very little motion. Oh, what fun you can have. To give you a little history about the name that we chose for the cast and twitch rod, we found as we were playing with our cats and our small puppies that the actual motion that we used with our hand soon became the name. And we found that by twitching the end of the rod tip that we got this incredible action out on the floor when we were playing. So I wanted to just show you a little bit about how we do that. Again, with the rod being held in your right hand and the line in your left hand, the motion is just an up and down motion like this, or a side to side motion. Just 100 times the speed. Well, maybe not 100, but it is quite fast. But here we go. We twitch it up and down like this, or we twitch it side to side like this. Now, as I do that, I'm pulling the line with my left hand and kind of moving my rod a little bit. When we get it up here where we can't do it anymore, we're going to bring it back up here, and we're going to cast it back out, all right? And now I'm doing a side-to-side motion. Now we're doing up and down, and we're moving the line across my lap. like that. When it gets too short again, we bring it up and we just cast it again, up and down, side to side. On this setup, I'm using the loop-to-loop connector. Just want to make a reminder to you that when you're using the longer lines and you're repetitively casting, you do have the line that will wind back up on itself once in a while. And remember to just fix that problem. It's just running it down so you can see what's happened here. I've cast this many, many times. And to just straighten that out so that you can keep casting, you just run that down between your thumb and first finger. And see that the toy will start to spin. Just run your thumb and first finger all the way down until you get all of that twist out of the line. Just takes a matter of a few seconds, and you just do that after every 50 or 60 casts. And then you're ready to go. It's all untangled. But you want to do that when you're using the longer lines. Now this particular line is a 7 foot, but you would also want to be mindful of doing that on your longer lines as well, the 7, 8, and 9 and 10 foot lines. The cast and twitch rods we offer in a patio version as well as the 2-piece rod. So we have a 2-piece rod and we have a 3-piece rod. This particular setup that I'm holding in my hand is set up with a 9-foot line. We would recommend that in the indoor usage, using the 2-piece rod, that you stick with the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 foot lengths. And then the patio rod, the 3-piece rod, you can use the shorter lengths. The 3 foot doesn't work very well, but you could start with the 4. But it's designed for your longer lines. You could use the 9, but more specifically the 10 and the 12 foot lines. We don't recommend it. It's a little difficult to use inside the home. Mostly it's a spatial thing. Not that you can't, but it would be recommended more for usage outside. Another thing that we offer with our rod systems is that we have what we call a double swivel loop-to-loop connector. And I have attached one of these to the toy and to the rod line. Now, all of our toys, our cat toys, come with this extra little loop connector that you see that's attached to the actual loop of the toy. Then we've taken a double swivel loop connector that's offered, and what this does is it allows the toy to free spin on the line, and you don't get the line spinning up on itself. But again, there's a warning. It has a little metal piece at each end, and if you have a concern that your pet might bite into that and hurt itself, then you need to stay with the loop-to-loop method. This is my favorite setup, the 9 foot. This becomes my exercise play rod that I love to use specifically. I just come in and practice using it when I'm watching a game. But if you watch my arm length, I have to really pull it out here to get this toy up to the back of my ear as I get ready to cast. But you can see the line has come clear across my body. When we're using the shorter lines, it's just a little movement. But in using the longer lines you go, the farther you have to go. So the rod has to go way to the right and way out here to the left so that you're able to cast it. And that will be more specifically noted when you're using the 3-piece rod outside. So we're just going to do some casting here. But I can get all the length I want. You cannot be anything but assertive on the cast. The same thing applies. You have to be able to put a little bit of body and shoulder movement into it. You just can't do a little cast like this. You have to be quite stiff-armed to do it. We're going to try to aim for that candy dish up here and get it in, and we just tease it. Again, cast and twitch the rod to tease the toy across for the cat to jump on it. And that cat will jump on it, I can promise you. We're even finding that small puppies and small dogs love the toys, but they are feathers, and so if a dog decides to chew on it, it's not going to last very long. Okay, we've taken you through and shown you how to use the different line lengths with the cast and twitch rod, shown you some different technique on how to do it so that you'll be more successful. Now it's time to get you out there casting and twitching.